2022 is right around the corner, and I don't know about you, but I have a lot of big things that I want to achieve. And one of the things that I had to figure out is what in the world was I doing on a daily basis that was not allowing me to progress and grow the way I needed to. Today's topic, I'm going to share 6 things that I figure out was stealing my time and my joy and derailing my dreams of building the business that I want. Tune in for the episode. Hello and happy Tech Talk Tuesday. This is Michael Damon, the owner of WeMergeMedia.com and the organizer and founder of BondToBuild.com. Today is Tech Talk Tuesday, and every Tuesday I go live to talk about a topic to help entrepreneurs work smarter and not harder. I am currently in 2022 mode. I know we still have a couple months left here in this month, but I am getting ready for big things. And in order to do that and to be able to operate on a whole nother level, I need to make sure that I have a whole nother set of skill set, habits, and all that good stuff. So today what I want to talk about is not another tech tip because I've covered them. We've talked about the tech tips. More will come. But if you have all that knowledge and you have all that information, but you don't have good habits in your daily routine, it's going to be very difficult to implement a lot of the things that we teach for Tech Talk Tuesday. So today, what I want to talk about is some things that I found were derailing my dreams and throwing me off track and stealing my time. There are some things that I realized that I allowed into my workspace, in my mind, and into my environment that a lot of you are probably dealing with. Matter of fact, I know a lot of you are dealing with it because we have one-on-one conversations about all these different things. So I wanted to bring them to the table today on Tech Talk Tuesday and just share some tips with you to kind of point out what those things are. You can decide which ones are relevant to you and which ones you want to work around, which ones you may or may not have some solutions for, but at least we want to have that awareness to know that these things pop up often. And there are things that happen to every entrepreneur. It does not matter what business you're in. Even if you're in your career and you're at work, these things pop up at work. So we're going to talk about 6 things that I found was kind of stealing my time and what I needed to do to kind of refocus that time and attention so that I can be more productive in my day. So thank you for tuning in for Tech Talk Tuesday. Please go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, spread the word, because this is going to be something that's going to be helpful for anybody in your network or anyone that you're connected to. So I'm going to be doing some screen sharing today. I'm going to go ahead and give a couple seconds to get that screen switched over. And then in the meantime, I'm going to take a look at the comments just to make sure that I am able to be heard and seen. So Tech Talk Tuesday, Tech Talkers, there you go, Tech Talkers. Let me know that I'm good in the comments while I go ahead and get this screen share set up. So let's see who we got here. Wendy is here. Good morning, Wendy. Happy Tech Talk Tuesday. Loretta Camp, happy Tech Talk Tuesday, Mom. Tuning in from YouTube. We got Awake Joy tuning in from YouTube. Happy Tech Talk Tuesday to you. Carmen, good morning and happy Tech Talk Tuesday. All right, I'm seeing the folks. Carmen's tagging. Good way. Good thing. Okay, I'm good to go. Awesome. Good morning. All right, got my sound check. Good morning, Michaela. Looking forward to seeing you soon as well. Happy Tech Talk Tuesday. All right, so let me go ahead and get this screen share going so that we can get these tips in action. And then y'all can go about your day and we can go ahead and start working smarter and not harder. So let me just see here. You know how this part is. I got to just make sure I got the right stuff up. I think this is it. Okay, so let me just do a real quick check. You should be seeing my screen. 6 tips to help regain. Let me take a look at Facebook real quick. Make sure that it's showing what I want. Yes. Okay. Yeah, you're good. Okay, cool. So there we go. All right. So 6 tips to help you regain your focus if these things are stealing your joy and stealing your time. Some of this stuff, I'm telling y'all, it was like super difficult for me because I just swear that I could prove wrong. But here we go. Let's dive into it. So number 1 is going to be to silence your phone. I never really realized until I started silencing my phone how many distractions come from there. So I work from my computer quite often. A lot of times I like the larger screen. I like to have the keyboard. I like to be able to sit in a comfortable position. But I always have my phone right next to me. And even though I keep my phone on vibrate, the phone lights up when the notifications go off. I'll hear the vibration when the notification goes off. Somebody leaves a comment. I get an email from some company that I'm on a list that I'm not even in that zone at that time. So one of the biggest time stealers that I found was the phone. So if your phone does not have a do not disturb mode, I highly suggest you turn it off. On the iPhone, I have a do not disturb mode. I'm able to click the little moon icon and it turns it off for me. If you have people out there that you're worried about missing calls from, at least on the iPhone, I know you can set certain people to allow that call or that email from them to be able to come in through do not disturb mode. But honestly, like this was a huge one because what ends up happening is when we get these notifications, our focus shifts. And then next thing you know, you're in a loop and you're scrolling, you're replying to an email, and you're totally taken off task of what it is that you were working on. So silence that phone when you are in the zone. When you're trying to get into the zone, make sure you go ahead and take some time to silence that phone so you can get in it. This next one is going to vary depending on your work condition. And I talked about this recently with some friends who doesn't have a dedicated workspace. So I'm fortunate at this point in my life to be able to have a dedicated workspace. I can close the door. I don't have any distractions at all. My kid's grown, so I'm in a different space and I know everybody is not at that place yet. So if you can't close the door, then you're going to have to end up setting up some boundaries with the communication. Talk to your family, talk to your kids, talk to anybody who is sharing that space with you, and just let them know, hey, from this time to this time, it doesn't have to be the same time every day, but on this day, from this time to this time, like I need some silence and I need to be able to focus. And you'd be surprised just by communicating that it will be respected. You have to set up the boundaries. Even if you don't have the ability to be able to close your doors and shut yourself out and away from everything and everybody, at least communicate that you need that space and let that habit start being developed. Let your family know if you need to focus on something and you need some quiet time and you don't want to be disrupted for an amount of time. It's going to take some time to catch on, especially if you haven't established that boundary already. But if you communicate that and you practice that on a regular basis, you'll get there and you'll see that your boundaries will be respected. So this one right here was the one for me. Um, it was hard. It was very hard because so like and sometimes I'll sit there and think, I'm like, man, I wish I'm not gonna even say the words. I'm just gonna say this. Like multitasking for me is like something that I've operated in a very, very long time. And I was so sure that I can prove that I can be productive and be efficient and multitask. Like you really do think you can convince yourself that that's what you're doing. And it wasn't true. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just not true. Trust me, I've been trying for all these years. But I had to stop multitasking. What does multitasking look like for me? That could be, y'all know when I'm doing my screen share sometimes and I have like multiple tabs open, I'll have a tab open for a video that I'm editing. Then I'll have an email open in another tab. But then I have my iPhone messages popping up on my screen because my computer's synced up. So then I'll get a response to a text message and then I'm replying there. Multitasking. And guess what? Ain't none of those three things, the things that I talked about, the thing that I'm actually focusing on at that moment. So you have to stop multitasking. I highly recommend that you do it and just focus on one task at a time. I was recently listening to, was it Brian Tracy? I think it was Brian Tracy, one of the old school empowerment coaches, and he was talking about focus. And he's about so many businesses fail because business owners don't know how to focus. And it was a gut check. It was a cold slap because I'm like, dang, that's me. I'll be doing too much at one time. So I've been focusing on focus for the past couple of weeks, which led to me sharing this with you. But multitasking is that rabbit hole for me, trying to do multiple things at one time, and it's just not possible to do multiple things at one time well. That's what it is. You might get 10% here, 15% there, 20% here, but like if you really want to get stuff done and be on point, like you need to give your attention to whatever that main task that you're doing at that moment 100%. Okay. So do your best to stop the multitasking going into the new year. We got to get focused, y'all. Next is removing internal distractions. This is another one, especially if you're a creative person, if you're someone who always has a racing mind, you always have ideas popping in and you want to just implement and execute these things the moment they come up. Idea comes, you firing off a text message to people, hey, let's do this, let's do that. And that is another one of those things that just takes away from your time and takes away from your focus on what you're doing at that moment. So what you can do in that case is just to go ahead and write those things down. Okay. Um, they if you write them down, you don't have to worry about losing them. So, like, I know that's one of the reasons why we hurry up and jump into this other mode and we shift because I don't want to lose this thought. But have depending on how you are, if you're a paper person, if you're computer person, like have something next to you so you can jot these random thoughts down so that they don't take you off track and you can revisit them later. I recently started using within my Gmail account. On the right hand side on the computer, of course, they have one of the icons for task, and you can actually put tasks there, and you can then put dates and times to those tasks if you want to come back to them at a specific time, and it'll add it to your Google Calendar. So we still getting a little bit of tech talk in here, but that's something that I've been using lately. Like you can put the description in there, set the date and the time that you want to be reminded of it, and it's there within the email. So I've been loving that. But those little random internal distractions will get you and they'll take you off track. And then you're down a whole nother rabbit hole that you didn't intend to go down. So just go ahead and write those things down when that occurs to you. Okay. Now, here is another one of those things that I had to learn how to do without feeling guilty, and that's taking breaks. I used to feel guilty, and it doesn't seem right that you would take a break when you're working on something and trying to focus on something. But I would feel guilty for like stepping away from the computer to go for a walk or to go and, even if it's just to watch a television show for maybe like 15, 30 minutes or something like that, I would feel guilty about it. Friends would call and be like, hey, do you want to go to lunch? Or, hey, you got a minute, you want to chat? And I'm like, oh, I got to do something. Like, I got to really focus on this. And some of the times, like, yeah, there are times in the middle of something where you need to do that, but then you also need to kind of schedule that time for you to take a break from the work. And what's so crazy about that, when I started doing that, realizing that that break served me way more than if I had tried to keep on pressing on when I wasn't in a good mind state. So schedule the break if you need to so that you don't have to feel guilty about it. But then, like, you're giving yourself some time and your mind some time to be able to transition from one thing to the other. That's been very helpful. And oftentimes, I come back with a whole nother level of clarity. Something would occur within that break time that I come back and I'm just like, oh, wow, like I have a whole new burst of energy now because I stepped away for a moment and allow myself some other opportunities to just kind of tune into something else in a different way and come back more creative and more fired up. So don't feel guilty. Take the break. Do the breaks. All right. And then last but not least, I'm going to say meditate, meditation, reset, whatever that looks like for you. Just taking that time to be alone with your thoughts and allowing yourself to just be present in the moment. I never realized how powerful it was to take a moment just to sit and listen to the wind or just to sit and watch the clouds go by. So, I'll take time throughout the day, usually around lunchtime, I'll go outside and I'll just sit and I'll be quiet. I won't have my phone. I won't have the things on and just kind of like take nature in at that moment. And that in itself, without doing anything, just allows me to be able to kind of reground myself, to be able to refocus and to renew. Like it's actually very renewing for me to be able to take those kind of moments. Now, I know that a lot of people might find meditation difficult. So some of the things that you can do if you want help with that, there are a number of different apps out there that you can go to. YouTube has channels that have meditation combined with affirmations or guided meditations and music. So there's a number of things that you can go out there to try to find some kind of way to kind of help you calm down. What works for me best is really just kind of being quiet and being with nature. Listen to the trees, the wind, even if it's traffic, just the fact that I'm taking a moment right there to take in my surrounding and let my senses do what my senses do in that moment have been a huge help for me. So those are 6 things that you can do to kind of make some corrections in your habits, make some improvements in your day, just to kind of make life a little bit easier, and start getting ready to focus on those big dreams and those big goals for 2022. So, do anybody here do any of these things? Was this information helpful? Let me know down in the comments. I'm hoping that the rest of you are getting ready for 2022 as well. Um, we have, if you're not a member of Bond to Build, you should be. So that's a community that I've built to be able to bring all my entrepreneurial friends together so that we can share ideas, that we be able to kind of learn from each other. Different days of the week, we have all these different things to help us with focusing, help us just kind of keep advancing in our business. So if you are looking to surround yourself with other entrepreneurs who are focused, mission driven, and collaborating, in order to build something together, I recommend you go to bondtobuild.com. Choose one of the memberships. You can do a monthly membership or an annual membership and plug in. That's where all my courses are, and the other courses that I'm going to be releasing are going to be available there. So you have to be a member to get access to them. That's the place to go, bondtobuild.com. Choose a membership and go from there. So let's take a look at the comments. If you have to leave, I understand. Go ahead, tune out. I'm going to jump in the comments real quick just to kind of see if anybody else shared any advice or any thoughts. Again, share this with somebody. Okay, share this with somebody who you love, who you want to see grow and do well. So let's take a look at the comments real quick and just kind of see if we have any tips and suggestions. Taking a break when needed is very important. Yes, it is, Mom. Thank you for sharing that, because I used to feel guilty about that, and I wouldn't take breaks. And then you get to the point where you put yourself in a negative state, and you're no longer productive, and you're no longer efficient. And now you also are feeling guilty that the fact that you're not. So unplug for a moment. I call it unplugging. I'll be like, hey, I'm about to unplug for a moment. I don't care what's going on. I'm tuning out, and I'll do that, and it helps. Carmen says, silence the phone, close the door, multitasking. This is that dang multitasking. Totally overrated. I agree. I swear I could prove you wrong. I know I'm not the only one who's tried to prove that to be wrong, but dang, it ain't worth it, y'all. Removing internal distractions, get them notepads, and take breaks. Yep, you got it. That's it. Those are the 6, Carmen. Thank you. Awesome, Liz. Very helpful. Awesome. Hey, Crystal, thanks for tuning in for Tech Talk Tuesday. Carmen is team Bond to Build. Wendy says, very helpful. I need to stop multitasking and start meditating. Be diligent about writing stuff down, block distractions, basically everything. I'm with you. And you know what? Like I'm feeling the difference. Like it's been probably about 3 weeks. I think the first week was like, it's like everything when you're trying to do something new. It takes a moment to adjust, but I kept going. And now, like, I feel more productive. I feel more focused. Combining that with the fact that I'm also getting clear about what I want to do in my business and how I want to structure it. All that stuff has been very helpful for me, which is good. Oh, yeah, that's right. So Carmen said, organize 2020. She has some planners that you can get. Great planners for business owners that kind of map out all these goal setting and task and all that other stuff. She posted the link down in the comments, and they look good too. So they're pretty cool. Connecting to the wave of consciousness, just relaxing and paying it forward. Yes, that consciousness is real. You got it, Crystal. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in for this episode of Tech Talk Tuesday. I'll be back again next week. Again, bondtobuild.com. Plug in, get plugged in, join us, and let's get ready for the new year. Okay. So have a good day. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you all soon.